these are some of my good friends now from the Parks Department. We've been working together now for almost 5 years. And some of you guys may remember Sean from when we did the trail rehab day. He was the leader, and now he's doing such a good job. He got promoted and moved on to bigger and more important tasks. And Juliana is with the foundation, so she does the development work and has really helped put together some of the ideas behind what we're doing with the Scholz Memorial Foundation. So just to give everyone kind of a recap of what we've done the last couple of years, you know, right after Phil passed, you start getting just those checks that, you know, just what people do, the social norm. And I wasn't really sure what to do with them. And both John Molnaric and Dave Brennan, who we'll probably catch up with later, said something about, well, why don't we just do a memorial foundation? And that really turned out to be a great idea, because it was a way to have a holding ground and try to think of what is the right project, what is the best way to memorialize Phil. And we bandied about a lot of ideas. There were ideas about, you know, some sort of youth baseball or something at Santa Clara. Nothing really felt right until I saw an article in our local paper talking about how the Parks District had purchased a ranch down at the southern end of the park, and that was going to be adding on to the acreage of this park, which I can actually see from my backyard. And Phil and I, you know, we live on that side of town. We used to live right here at the north end of the park. And so hearing that land was coming up, it just seemed like a very cool opportunity to somehow get involved and see if there was the opportunity to name a trail after Phil. And so that was how I approached. It wasn't Juliana at the time, but some of their peers who have moved on also. And they were very supportive of the idea, and so we kind of went forward. And then over the last just couple of years, I've been talking to Sean and Juliana about what trail is appropriate. And Sean gave me some ideas. There's a new trail way up on the ridge, which sounded just beautiful, but not as approachable. You know, it's a hike that would have been a hike to the trail, and you would have been carrying a day's worth of water. And I just thought that sounded not as ideal as what we ended up coming up with, and they're going to talk a little bit about that today. But you know, I'm going to let you guys share kind of some of the exciting news about the naming and whatnot and how that's gone through. But it's really just been a very exciting project, and it's nice to see things moving along. So I thought today would be just a good opportunity to share some of this news, since everyone here has been, you know, a supporter, friends and family of Phil, of course. At this point, the Memorial Foundation has contributed $80,000 to the East Bay Regional Parks towards this project. We do actually still have money in the bank, so the hope is that we're going to keep contributing towards this project, and you know, and do some, you know, again, you know, we're not doing any like extreme active fundraising, but at the same time we are still going to do small events like this and just see what we can do to continue to help the Parks Department. And all that fundraising has just been Phil's friends and family. I mean, it's really just very organic. And one thing I just really wanted to say too was that a big thank you to the guys that participate in PDX Land. They have been huge contributors. I think they've contributed about $30,000 to the Memorial Foundation. Just a great group of guys that really loved Phil. They recently sent me, they made these special medals for all the guys that helped create PDX Land, and they designated number 33 for Phil, which was his softball number. So that was very cool, and his baseball number. And that's where the shirts came from. You know, it's the baseball font, and these were Phil's colors, the White Sox team. So big thank you to those guys at PDX Land, and a huge thank you to NVIDIA too. So Phil's employer has been just hugely supportive of the foundation, and just really of my family and Phil's passing. So good chance for me to end. So I'll turn it over to you guys to maybe just tell us a little bit about the trail.
I'm going to start, and then I could have a perfect spot where you could show.
Let's do it.
Okay. Thanks for coming. It's a gorgeous day. I do remember some of you from the work event, I think. And you know, we did try. We had a couple of options, and I was mentioning to Roberta that we tried to, when meeting with Emily, we tried to have an end game, a longer vision as to what would work in the long run, rather than pick something that was easier there, or when, you know, not as gorgeous or hard to access at some point. So we have a lot of fire roads. We didn't want to name a fire road after Philip, and so I think we have found something that matches sort of the passion that I have experienced with this group here as fundraising, and their energy around celebrating what we consider to be, who we consider to be a local hero. And so this is the former Northwoods Trail here. It's in the northern part of Pleasanton Ridge, and I'll explain a little bit of the background of how the Park District goes about naming things real quick, the process, and then sort of next step schedule. And then Juliana has some items that I think you'll really like. So, so first of all, so the Park District has a very rigorous naming process that we go through. So it first goes to the Board Executive Committee, which is a small subset of our full board, and we propose the trail and the name. And then it goes to our Park Advisory Committee, which is about 26 members that are appointed by our board members, and they all talk about it. And then it goes back to the full board. So it went to the Executive Committee on June 7th this year, and then right on the heels of that went to the Park Advisory Committee on June 25th, and unanimously approved. Everybody was very supportive, and our the director, Ann Wieskamp, in this ward is very supportive of this and excited that we're able to do this. And so then on July 24th, the Park District Board officially adopted changing the Northwoods Trail, which is in the land use plan for this park, to the Philip Scholz Trail. And I always say Scholz. Can you please tell me? Scholz. Yes.
Scholz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad we spelled it right. That would have been awkward. So you can see there's an inset here. So the idea is that this trail, by the way, doesn't exist yet. So we went out and we used our gizmotrons and things and came up with an alignment, and it goes through the woods. This Northwoods Trail is its old name, so it goes through the oak woodlands, which is gorgeous. But then it really does right about here. You see this open space? You wind up with a 360-degree view, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I wish we could have this event there. But this area of the park is not actually open to the public yet. So the plan is the land use plan calls for 30 miles of new trail being built. This is a part of that. And silly me, I think this is about 3 miles. Yeah. So 3 miles out of the 30. The land use plan also calls for new entrances to the park, right? So it's hard to see, but you guys can check it out. But there's an entrance plan, and you know where West Las Positas is on the way in here? There's an entrance plan there. We call it the GARM staging area. That will be developed in the next 3 years. And that'll be a very large parking lot. There'll be a new trail built as a part of that called, there's a few out of there, but one of them is the Tehan Falls Trail. And there is a waterfall up there that is actually pretty gorgeous when it's flowing. And you could probably guess the name of that. It's Tehan Falls. Not like